So I've been doing a little homework. For me, I'm a data person, and I like to see what's feeding the market. So one of the things that's feeding the market is a soft landing, which means lower inflation. Another thing is job growth. And the next thing is interest rates are stabilizing. We'll talk about that. Another thing is earnings are stabilizing and PE ratios are expanding. What does that mean when PE ratios are expanding? That means they are growing. Multiples are growing. If multiples are growing, if companies are earning more, then that gives the market and the people who love the market more confidence. When the market has more confidence, they put more money into the market. If they put more money into the market, what does the market do? Let's go a little further. All right, and so what will keep the market running? More data to support a soft landing, which means interest rates. I want you to pay attention to interest rates. Earnings will keep getting better and rates remain stable. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Even though August and September are the worst months, watch this. If we can keep interest rates around 3, inflation around 3 and interest rates coming down, the Fed will not do a rate hike. If we don't get a rate hike in September, we probably won't get another rate hike until the first quarter of 2024. And if we don't get a rate hike until the first quarter of 2024, that means we're going to run the rest of the year. So now, go back, Dave. Go back one more. That means the 49, the 48, the 47, the 48 going to look real good. So the rate hike now marries the data. Does that make sense? If the rate hike marries the data, or the no rate hike marries the data, that means the market going to print a lot of money going upward. Did that make sense to everybody just now? So the rate hikes are the catalyst to if the market is going to run or not. And that's tied to strong jobs and inflation. Am I making sense? I'm not trying to turn y'all into economics majors, but you need to understand basic economics so you can understand what making the market move or not, right? You need to understand the ingredients. So when your grandma gave you that recipe, she ain't really give you the measurements because most of our great grandmothers, they ain't measure nothing. They just said, we measure for taste. What you doing with that Pyrex? Not what you think. I just flamed it just now. All right, then let's go a little further. All right, boom. We are on a crash course to somewhere because this ain't right. Now watch this, y'all. The U.S. national debt is up $1.8 trillion since the debt ceiling crisis, which was a couple months ago, which was July 1st. Right, so how the hell did we add $1.8 trillion in that fast when it took us 8 years? It took us 209 years to add $1.8 trillion. Now we just did it in 8 weeks. I want you to sit on that for a second. It took us 209 years to add $1.8 trillion to the U.S. debt, but we just did it in 8 weeks. I need you to understand that this is unstable. I want you to understand that we're on a head-on collision for something that ain't good. But the person who has the assets in play and the person who knows how to play the market, you're going to win regardless. But I don't never want you to get blindsided by the market. I want you to pay attention to what's ahead. Because if we can pay attention to what's ahead, we can prevent it from it affecting us like it's going to affect everybody else. I'm not saying that real estate is not a good asset class to have, but what I do want you to understand that if you can play the stock market, then the stock market can feed every other asset class that you want to get into. I don't never think it's an either or. I think to really build wealth, you need to have both. Is that making sense? So when somebody starts fussing with me about real estate better than stocks, I'm like, bro, I don't want to argue with you about it. Like, because you got everything in your mind that can support your argument. I have stuff in my mind that can support my argument. Why we can't just have a portfolio full of both of them? But what I will tell you is this has the lowest barrier of entry and the highest return. What I love about the real estate game is America gives us the most benefits for owning that. Whether it's tax breaks, whether it's the ability to leverage, you can leverage your real estate in a better way than you can leverage a stock portfolio. Now, you can borrow against your stocks, but I don't want to borrow against my stocks when I can just have real estate and do that. That makes sense? I just want us to play the well game. Let's go a little further.
What's good, trappers, man? It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Right now, I want to invite you to an amazing experience full of value. That is my community, Trappers Anonymous. It's 100% the greatest fundamental investing community on the market. Listen, your portfolio should be a masterpiece. And the only way we get you there is if we help you to learn how to invest with confidence. Now listen, I get it. Like, you don't know a lot about stocks, or maybe you've heard people say how much money they lost in stocks, but I can guarantee you, one, because they weren't in the community, and two, they lack the information. Our goal in Trappers Anonymous is to help you, really to hold your hand on the journey to becoming a confident investor, learning how to navigate through the different events that the stock market goes through, to take you from panic to encouragement. There's no better time than now. This is an opportunity only for those who are willing to be on the journey. So listen, man, click the link below. Come join me in Trappers Anonymous, man. I will see you in one of our many classes, whether it's Moat Monday, whether it's the 2-hour class we do on Sunday, or whether it's just a book club. Everything is geared toward making you a better investor so you can triple your net worth and turn your last name to an asset. It's your boy, Wall Street Trapper. See you in the trap.
So watch this, man. Amazon has changed the game. They've mastered the delivery game in a way that nobody else has. Watch this. Amazon just said so far this year it has delivered 1.8 billion units to its Prime members the same or next day. That's 4 times what it delivered at those speeds in this point in 2019. Here's what I want you to understand. Nothing in this game that a business does is for fun. This is Amazon's side hustle. Their true business is the web service. For fun, they challenge Walmart. For fun. Like, you know what? We ain't doing nothing else. We just for fun, we gonna challenge Netflix. This ain't even our main source of income. But Amazon has such an amazing business model, and this is why I love the company. This is why they got a dope business model. For one, 48% of the government uses Amazon Web Service. That's their biggest business. Nobody never thinks about that. They're the most used web service in the world. Watch this. Number 2, what they do is they don't own but 20% of the stuff that they sell. And number 3, they came up with Amazon Prime, and unlike Netflix and unlike Disney, they tied the Amazon Prime subscription service to TV to the Amazon Prime delivery. And so now what happens is it's hard for Wall Street to judge them on subscribers for the TV because they got it tied into you buying Amazon for the next day. Watch this. Most people get Amazon Prime for the delivery. The TV subscription is a plus. But guess what? The stock market is going to run on Amazon Prime, the TV, because it's baked into Amazon Prime, the next day delivery. Did that make sense? Golly. So while Netflix is judged by how many subscribers it has for the TV, Amazon doesn't get judged by that. Remember we talked about what moves the stock. So Amazon gonna be judged on its AWS and cloud business more than it's going to be judged on its subscribers to Amazon Prime. But the plus is they get to throw Amazon Prime in there and boost the stock. That's the cheat code for them. Does that make sense? I think some people still trying to grasp that. Like, I don't know, Trap. They be selling everything. They do. But also, watch this. Amazon is so dope. I want you to understand what the business model looks like. Watch this. Then the next thing they do, because delivery is such a great business for them, they decided to go build out facilities. So now that they don't have to use UPS or FedEx, so now they became integrated vertically, not only in the web business, but also in the delivery business. Let's go a little further. So then they purchased 3 pharmaceutical companies, the PillPack and 2 other pharmaceutical businesses, And then when they purchase Whole Food, the goal now is to put the prescription, the pharmaceutical businesses inside of Whole Foods, so now they can challenge CVS and Walgreens. We talking about a company that's about to be real dangerous in the next 5 years. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. That's when you was like, hold up. That's what I love about that business. Here's what I want you to understand. When you invest in a business, don't invest in a business that does one thing good. Invest in a business that does one thing great, but does a lot of other things good. That's a business that's going to be around for a while. Prime example, the reason why I said Apple stock a day keep the poverty away. Why? Because they sell you iPhones at a really good rate. They so good they can sell you the same phone for 4 years in a row and increase the price, and we ain't going nowhere. But then they just choose to have this thing called the App Store, where they don't got to do nothing but have the housing platform and charge everybody on the app 30% of what they make. And then they decide to say, you know what? We got this thing called the cloud. And if you got the phone, you may as well have the computer and the watch and the headphone. And it's because everything is tied to that, you probably ain't going to go nowhere anywhere. They decide that they can lock us in all type of ways. How many of us pay money for the music and you be like, bro, where that $9 going at? Why is they charged? Damn. What happens is they've tied us into so many different components of their business. Watch this. I'm going to keep it real with you. It ain't even that I want to leave. It ain't that I don't want to leave, but even if I leave, it's an inconvenience to me. It's an inconvenience. I wouldn't know the first thing how to put my information on a cloud on Android. Do they got a cloud? Shots.
Tell me that was no blood. That was no blood.
That was good. That was slick though, Jose. All the Android people gonna unfollow me. I shouldn't waste my damn money coming to this show.